is all about event technology. There is so much technology out there nowadays, it's just almost not funny. Now, all this technology is often really, really good, but it's the human factor that lets a lot of it down. It's often hard to use. Sometimes it's not implemented well, or we don't particularly use it well. Or what's worse is when there's no creativity involved in the use of this technology. We're going to get straight to the point as far as new technology and things that you're here to see. So already you may have seen us interacting with the screen, which is quite different to most things that you would have seen. I can bring a picture out here, and we can resize it, and we can move it around. I can make it full screen if I want to. This is a product called AirScan. It's basically an infrared laser that is scanning out 180 degrees from our wonderful little red box that we've hidden down here at the bottom of the stage. We can use this in many, many different ways. It can be mounted on the floor, as you see here, or on the top of a truss situation. Multiples of them can be used together for greater accuracy. Accurate floor plans are the beginning of building shows that work in myriads of spaces. We use Vectorworks in here, in-house, and it's one of the best programs on the market for not only doing floor plans, but also 3D renders and delivering to the client realistic renders so that they can actually see what they're going to buy before the concept has even worked. But where this whole concept of 3D drawings and the time and effort we put here goes into kind of new categories and new steps and new possibilities are coming, is when Vectorworks starts talking to all the other tools that we use. So this is a render out of MA3D, which is the lighting program that's free with an MA2 lighting console. This can be huge because if you have venue restrictions or time restrictions, the hard work is done before we get on site. Where this becomes on a whole new level is in the world of video. We haven't been able to pre-visualize video. However, we can offer this now in-house. This is part of Coolux. I'm just going to talk over this video. It's a new feature called Venue Sites. And all the hard work that we do in Vectorworks, which is, again, either time and money that we spend in winning your pitches, or time and money that you spend in the pre-production costs, can be transferred from Vectorworks and exported into 3D objects. And we can now, in Coolux, pre-program the video. So for projects that are taking, sometimes a year to develop, this can all be done well and truly beforehand so that the bump-in costs and the venue hire time, et cetera, is minimized.
One of the problems we've had with conferences and corporate events is that if the corporate event doesn't have a monstrous budget to build a huge set and a huge stage backdrop, you end up with a black drape, which is very boring. What we've found over the years of specializing in a lot of high-end conferences is that if you don't provide an engaging environment, not only are the presenters not as inspired and enthusiastic to present, but the audience doesn't take in the information. We developed this app wall because we can get a big effect at a relatively low cost. So what we've been trying to do with the high-end conferences, and I'll show you a few examples in a sec, is when every speaker comes on stage, whatever they're talking about, we try to reinforce it with big visuals like this. And it really helps to engage the audience and to keep them interested. Another good example was an initiative by the Commonwealth Bank. This was an event very similar to TED called Wide for Wonder. What we did was this monstrous rear project surface, which was 18 meters wide by 10 meters high. To give you some idea of the scale, this backdrop here is 6 meters high, so add another 4 meters on top of that, and you get some idea of the scale. And what we did with the presentation screen, for people that had a presentation, we dropped the screen in and flew it in as they walked on stage to add a bit of theatrics. And if they didn't have a presentation or when they walked off stage, the screen flew out. So it added some theatrics to the show.
One thing to note out of this as well that's really important is actually venue choice. This is not a venue, it's a theatre, but it worked incredibly well for that event. Think outside that box for these kind of events too, because it enables what we do to come to a new level of life as well.
So yeah, Wide for Wonder. It was a an amazing success and a really good setup, a good example of how you can change the whole stage backdrop at an instant, and quite cost effectively. Another quick example of some projection that we did on all four walls of an enormous venue for a dinner, where we changed the venue. That was in the setup phase. This is one of the shots I took off my iPhone. I walked back into the room and I went, holy shit, it really looks like we're in Tuscany somewhere, and the sandstone building. And then it changed to a cityscape, and it changed to a sky. It is so immersive when your whole room changes at an instant. The key with something like this is to get good content made.
Content is king. It's a saying that is flashed around our industry. You may have heard that before, but it really is. And we need to talk to a specialist about this. So we will talk to Nigel, and he will explain a whole new world.
Hi everyone. Hello. Hello, hello. I'm Nigel, and I am the founder of a company called the Monkey's Cobbler. So we produce innovative digital content for experiential brand activations. Our point of difference to a regular digital design agency is that our guys are trained in the use of the equipment that the production houses use to display the content, which is, a pretty powerful thing for a content production house. We've got these systems in-house, so that means we're seamlessly able to provide the technical production companies such as Innovative with tested and pre-programmed content. That means that our clients have the opportunity to come to our offices and rehearse their shows, or do viewings before it actually has to go out to the big production houses and before it actually has to go out on site. We were invited by Production Technologies, Blink TV and SBS to create the content for Australia's historic Eurovision performance featuring Jess Mauboy. So content was played back on a 40-ton steel structure that had lead strips all over it. There was a 109-metre lead wall in the background and a 168-square-metre interactive lead floor as the stage. All in all, it was pretty amazing. So in order to do this, we used the D3 system. That's what they were using on site. And that's the fly-throughs that you just saw there are some of the fly-throughs that we can generate. At its most basic, the D3 system allows you to do these fly-throughs. And for the most part, that's what we use it for, is pre-visualization of the venues and the screen content on the venues. The last one I'm going to show you is something that we did at the Hordham Pavilion a couple of years ago. The reason why I'm showing you this, I think it's quite interesting because it was a 3-metre deconstructed cube that we created and put on the stage, and then projection mapped onto it for the awards. It was all run out of Pandora, which is the same software that the boys have been using to throw the content around. So it's pretty powerful software, and if you pop over, we can show you some of the other things it can do. The interesting thing was that it was all cued to the MC as well. So as the MC's reading out, here are the next finalists, bang, we'd go. So it wasn't just your normal projection mapping kind of loop, which added a level of complexity to it. It's a really exciting time for all of us in the events industry who are excited by innovation, because as consumer and audience expectations grow, the need for multiple types of tailored content delivered in a variety of formats also grows. A lot of people don't know where to get started with all this kind of thing. Like I said before, we have people in-house who are being trained in these softwares and also in the creative application of them. We are here to help. We have been heavily investing in things like Pandora, Watchout, D3, in order to service the demand that we see coming for this kind of technology. We have a full-time creative technologist on board. His role is purely research. So if you have an idea as to what it is that you want to do, it's all about proof of concept for us. You have an idea that you want to do something, you bring it to us, we'll mock up an idea Maybe basic design to get started with, but the general idea is that we are looking for technical limitations, we are looking for budget considerations, we're looking to see if it's going to work and how it's going to work, how it is going to work with the message that your client wants to be getting across and the theatrics that you as event people want to be delivering with your event.
I'm Bridget, I'm General Manager of ARIA Catering. We're residents caterers at the Sydney Opera House, and we cater in over 21 venues across Sydney. And we cater for up to 3,000 guests at a time, so we're quite busy people. The catering business, in my eyes, is an over-top version of a really good restaurant. It's about numbers, it's about clever production, and it's about getting good food out at restaurant quality to big numbers all at once. Caterers work with so many suppliers, growers, fishmongers, florists, stylists, lighting specialists, hire, transport and bakers. Suppliers need to be good at what they do. They need to have a really good product and a really good service. Innovative are our preferred supplier of production services. Jeremy and Brendan have become great friends of ARIA Catering, and we believe they're the best in their field. You can see here tonight. You can even look around the warehouse. It is seriously this tidy and neat every time we come here. What a wonderful way to present a business. It's a testament to the both.
What we have shown you tonight are proof of concept. This is all what's popular, what's possible. AirScan is a tool that we can help you integrate into events so that screens are now, essentially a touch screen. This can be utilized on the floor as well, as you saw in the Adidas video. The possibilities are endless. What we need you guys to do is start to pick the client's brains, pick your own brains, come up with some ideas, and we'll work together to see what's possible and help you produce it.